is David with Technics, and today we're going to talk about TempSentinel version 2.2.6. So I'm going to go ahead and run this from the desktop here. This is the default screen that you will see every time you start the program. On the right side here is where the image will be displayed. Typically it takes in between 5 and 15 seconds or so before a connection is established and we'll get an image. On the left side here, where it says waiting for temperatures, this indicator just represents the amount of time that it's going to take before we see temperatures being displayed. Those will be displayed both on these overlays on the screen itself, right here, and on this left side over here where it says zone and temperature. You'll see it along this. Moving over to the left side here, we've got our basic features where we can record video, record segments of video, we can save snapshots or screenshots, and we can also set that up to be automatic. We also have our exit button here and our settings button. So if we go ahead and move over to settings while it's still waiting for the temperatures, we're met with a bunch of different settings here. The ones that make the most sense to speak about right now are clip duration, record interval, and auto snap rate. These three all relate to the record video segments and the automatic snapshot buttons found on this front panel. So clip duration would be the amount of time you want to record for. Record interval would be the interval in which you're recording. So right now we have it set up so that we would be recording 10 seconds of footage every 1 minute, and those two are for this record video segments button here. The auto snap rate is just the rate at which we're going to be taking screenshots. Right now this is set up for 1 minute, so every minute we would be taking a screenshot. And so as you can see, we do have our temperatures that have come up now, and they match what we're seeing here to the left. So going back to the settings page, we can see that we have some information here at the top about IP addresses. Right now we're actually connected to our infrared camera here, labeled like so. And we can see that this has the IP address of .90, and since we are using a TLP here, we have it up here, and this is the one that we're actually connected to, and this is for our analog output device, which you may or may not have. Other settings on here, we have our font size. The reference temperature is actually a center box that we'll go over here in a second when we set up zones. And then we have the option to record with or without overlays. Overlays being these temperature boxes that we see here. So moving down here, we have our indicator that shows all of the cameras that the computer sees that are on the network right now. And so we have two different cameras that we're looking at. Right now, this is the only one that we care about. Down here we have temperature text color. This changes the color of the text that we see here, so you can change that to anything you'd like. We also have a file descriptor, and whatever you would put in here, maybe it would be a location or something like that, something descriptive about the scene. And then any screenshots or video clips that are saved would have that appended onto that title. We have color set, which right now we're using color set 4. We can change that to 5 different ones, or just include none if we would prefer to just have the monoscale image. We'll go back to table 4. Then we have some other settings options down here, as well as hiding the date and time if we'd like to see that. So let's go ahead and set up a couple zones real quick. So like I mentioned before, reference zone is actually this zone, which is a constant zone. You cannot change it or move it or anything like that. And this is what we base a lot of the data off of. So right here we can see that this zone is saying 998 for this area inside of this box. So if we actually want to create some zones, we have our zones that we had created before. Let's go ahead and alter one. Very much like Paint or any other kind of image editing program where you can drag along boxes and things like that, so we can just go ahead and shift this wherever we like, and once we have something that we like, we can go ahead and hit set zone, and it'll change that. Same thing with any of the other temperatures. If we want to add a new temperature, we can simply just click down holding the mouse and drag it along, and then we set zone, and that's pretty much it. You can return to the main screen to see what we've done. Moving along, we have output settings. So I mentioned our analog output device IP address up here. So if we go to our analog output settings, if you have an analog output module, this is all the settings for that, and pretty much depending on how you have it set up, these are just the outputs that you can assign to each channel. So channel 1 if we wanted to do zone A or anything like that. It's pretty straightforward. The COM port, these are settings that should all be already set up and really shouldn't be altered once you have it connected. A small status about what's going on with your analog output device. Right now I don't have one connected, so we're getting this red LED right here and a little error message. If you do have one connected, it should be green and you would have no error message. So moving on to the advanced settings page, you'll be met with a password here. The default password is PASS, P-A-S-S, all lowercase. And really the settings on this page should not be altered unless you know exactly what you're doing. But real quickly I will run over what these do. Log interval just records the temperature data to a log, and this is simply just the interval at which it does it. The max log length is the amount of time it will do it for, so it would make a new file after 24 hours. Emissivity is the emissivity that our camera would be seeing. 1 is the default and should be left that way unless you believe you're looking at something different. Video codec is simply the video codec that we're saving. We have it, the default is to have it no video codec, but you could do some other type of compression if you would like to. Camera mode also shouldn't be changed. This is for viewing multiple instances of our camera. The refresh rate is the time that it takes for the temperatures to refresh. 90 frames, which is about 3 seconds, is our default, and we suggest you leave it there. Image quality is the image quality for screenshots. The record overlay frames per second is the amount of frames per second you're going to be recording at when you have the overlays enabled. So it does slow our frame rate down a little bit when you record with the overlays, so you need to match that. And this should be set to the default value and should more than likely not be changed. We have our frame rate indicators. We have our maximum and minimum temperature, and these are the values that you need to know for our analog output devices. This would be the 4 to 20 scale, 4 to 20 milliamp scale. We have our max percent of hard drive before reduction. So we do have some safety nets enabled in case you try to overflow the hard drive, and again, these should not be changed from defaults, but so right now if the hard drive reaches over 50% of its maximum capacity, we start to delete the oldest clips from these folders. And then this is also the folder locations for where the data is being saved. And you also have the option to change the password if you would like. And I guess I missed the temperature units up here. You can change from Fahrenheit to Celsius if you would like. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact Intertechnics or send us an email at support@intertechnics.com. And thanks for watching.